Father, please, you can have my Led Zeppelin records, George Michael, anything.
That's my boy!
Wimp.
I don't know why, but something is wrong.
Rule Britannia.
The TV is crazy and the truth has gone. I might be crazy, but I think we're done. There are people out there who are adverse to fun.
Communism is king.
It's on your news. Even your neighbor has been here. You can see it on YouTube. It's time to shine a light on all the things they don't want you. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next.
Commander Worf, don't be a cunt.
I'm having such a good time.
Kill everyone on the bridge.
Having a ball.
Fuck you, Mr. Rascal.
My name is Owen Jones, a renowned drama queen, pseudo-intellectual and champagne socialist.
That's for B4.
What can I do? People no longer love the truth.
Shut the fuck up.
What's true? That's why we gotta shine a light. Oh, shine a light, shine a light. We gotta shine a light. Oh, yeah. Together forever. Yeah. Tom's Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom's Generation Next. Yeah. Tom's Generation Next. The Unity Channel. Zero News to now. Tom's Generation Next. We're gonna shine a light. Generation X.
Guys, Tom Fury, Zero News. Words like Islamophobia, I don't normally even say, because I don't really consider them words, because they don't make any sense. What the word stands for doesn't make any sense. It's something that was created to silence conversation. We all know this. However, for the sake of today's video, we're going to use the word. Is it possible that some of the stats that are coming at the moment may be, in their own interpretation, real? And I'm seeing people from Jeremy Corbyn to Owen Jones to other people reporting on these stats, and they're very carefully, and bear in mind, when anything is a white person's fault, they are very quick to point out it's a white person's fault. So when a white person drives into people, it's put on the newspaper the next day. You know their name, everything else. If it's someone from another origin, you know the score, right? So if white people do things wrong, we know about it, especially if it's anything racial. Okay, I think that's fairly agreed upon. So all of these people on the left are currently going on about reports that that Islam is amongst the poorest people in London, and in London there is currently more reports of Islamophobia than any other time. It's apparently spiking at the moment in London, and it's considered to be a real problem. So let's just stop and take a time out there. Again, I don't agree with the word Islamophobia, and they've directly called it racism on here. Again, that doesn't make sense for what the word is, but let's just play their narrative for a second. London. There's been a spike in Islamophobia in London. They have not mentioned that it's a spike from white people, and you know they would. You goddamn know that if it was the far right, if it was right wing, if it was white people who were committing these offences, if you want to call them that, you know that that's exactly what they would be saying. And they would be exaggerating it because it would be all the ammunition they want. But then they're not. They're very carefully not saying anything. Now bear in mind where we were talking about, London, that is not majority white. Could it be, and the reason, and they haven't said, by the way, that people from other ethnic backgrounds are facing the same kind of racism, as they've called it. So could it be that the people facing Islamophobia in London are facing it from all of the other population of London, which may include white people, but is Chinese, black people, you name the different ethnic backgrounds of people in London. You've got nearly every ethnic background in London, and like I say, as a majority. So my point being, and the very fact that they are not willing to say it's white people, again, you know they would. You know from the way your news is handled, everything, you know they would be jumping up and down all over it if it was white people. So is it, these new stats that have come out, are they actually, the left would never admit this, admitting that Islam has managed to piss off even the other races now with its bullshit? Is that's what's going on? Is it other people in the country feel unsafe, not because of the far right, but actually because of Islam making the country unsafe for multiple reasons, and making the country unsafe perhaps for ethnic people for all the wrong reasons? Are people turning against Islam? Other races? Are races turning against practitioners of that religion? It's a good question to ask, because the stats might be there to support it. Even though I don't agree with Islamophobia, they're trying to link it with acts of racism. We know there's a lot of interracial stuff that goes on anyway. But considering they're also singling out London, I think that says a lot. I think it says that there's been a lot of anti-Islam sentiment from a lot of races in London, and not just white people. In fact, again, majority not white people in London, because they wouldn't have the guts. Not because they're cowards, but because they're outnumbered. So, I don't know. It says it all to me. I would bet a reasonable amount of money I'm right on this. But we'll see if we can find.
Don't worry, this is not an episode of The Undateables. Calm down. This is your favourite babyface twat, Owen Boner Jones. Forgive the lack of content recently, but since I am one of the few commie YouTubers, it's me or nothing, so you are stuck with me. Comrades, so I have lied about fights at bars, I've lied about many things in my time whilst keeping my babyface charm. And recently, I once again have proven my manhood by alienating myself from even those nutters that would have accepted me. Now I am sucking the life out of the Green Party, big fish, small pond. Not only that, they are getting desperation votes from Labour voters. So it's easy for me to spin that into success rather than default, which I am happy to do if I get the credit. Speaking of credit, I have continued to champion Gaza daily, whilst also continuing to ignore the poor and disadvantaged in my own country because I hate every single one of them. So you might think if I have managed to alienate myself from my own weirdos, maybe I should look at my midlife crisis to consider if it might be me who is actually not only disliked, but despised by my enemies and allies equally. Literally, the only people who tolerate me are the chubs on the internet who are so desperate for a socialist win that they have pinned their hopes on me. I don't have the heart to tell them how desperate that actually is. So round and round we go. See, I may be Owen Jones, a total wanker, but am followed by the most deplorable wankers in the country. That's my secret. The wankers that support me make me look like the gentleman I can never truly be. I could be a lady. This is Owen Jones. Tune in for more verbal diarrhea. Just watch for me talking. John Z out.
0 is goals, Tom Fury. Generation X with Tom Fury. It's a liberty that you are not on TV. Come and sit, white meat, and we'll have tea. Never mind the dying kids, or never mind the activist. When a bitch has got legs like this, and she look the stuff. Come on, mate, don't take the piss. I said, don't take the piss. I am sleeping. Oh yeah, I'm sleeping with this bitch. Tom Fury.
I'm not a fighter, but I am a fight enthusiast. But what I also am is a fan and hater of the wrestling business, not the wrestling, but the wrestling business, because it's got such a history and because it is based in the what they would call the carny world, and a lot of it was based on not just a fake wrestling product, but originally it was conning people completely into believing it was a proper sport that they could bet on or that they could trust and things like that. So it started in quite sinister roots. So when I see people talking about Jake Paul's fights and are they rigged and you couldn't get away with rigging it, and then you see Anthony Joshua as the opponent, if that fight actually happens, a lot of people are already saying, oh, that'll be rigged, but then there's the caveat that they can't imagine Anthony Joshua's ego for any amount of money when he's made as much as he has would allow him to let Jake Paul win the fight. I agree with that, and they're right. They're right, generally speaking. However, it may not be AJ that throws the fight. It may be Jake Paul. And you may think, why would Jake Paul throw the fight? If you know you're going to get killed anyway, and nobody's going to think less of you for it because you're taking on a guy twice your size, it might be best to do it in a way where you see it coming and can protect yourself rather than. But here's what they don't get. When all these people are breaking these things down, like I saw the breakdown of the Mike Tyson fight where it appears that Mike's pulling back punches. Some people say he's pulling back punches because he knows they're not going to connect. He knows he's been a bit too slow, and other people are saying that it looks obvious that he's pulling them back. To me, it does kind of look obvious that he's pulling some back, but the reasons why, I don't know. But it does, But anyway, the people that he's knocked out, Tyron Woodley, if you look at the way that he goes down and the way that he gets hit, it looks like he was prepared for the hit. Ben Askren, never been knocked out like that. Let's get to the point. The way people are looking at this right now is, AJ wouldn't choreograph a fight with Jake Paul. And what they don't realize is how difficult it actually is to choreograph any fight and make it look real. It's really not doable. It's not doable. The things that you can script in fights are, I'm going to let you knock me out at halfway through the second round. Yeah, that's the only thing you can really script, or to say, don't throw, and even then you're taking a risk, but don't throw any bangers until the 8th round sort of thing. But that's not how it works. That's just not how it works. Usually when they fix fights, and this used to happen a lot in Pride FC in Japan, It was the most common place for it to happen. This is where the knowledge comes from. The way they fix fights is they'd only tell one fighter. And that's why I said I think it might be Jake Paul taking a dive. They only tell one fighter that they're taking a dive. If Jake Paul's stupid enough to actually try and choreograph fights, that's crazy. Because when they fight fix, they tell one fighter to take a dive. They don't tell the other fighter that he's taken the dive. Because again, instantly it will make the whole match look fake. Everyone will be sus. Whereas when one person doesn't know, you've instantly taken half the risk away of him spreading that news. But also, he's going to be fighting naturally, going in there to kill someone because he thinks that his back's up against the wall. He doesn't know the other person's taken a dive. It's how they've always done business. And also as well, it means he doesn't make any of the money from what's going on as well, the betting scams and everything else that are going on. So generally speaking, when someone takes a dive in a fight, not both sides are privy to it. And this is why a lot of people make mistakes. When they say, oh, you couldn't script that. No, it doesn't need to be scripted. One side needs to know that they are going to either get fake knocked out or they're going to hold their chin up at a time when they knew they shouldn't. And they're going to take a hard punch, one or the other. But all they're going to just go down when they get connected with properly. But they're going to allow that connection. And again, Jake Paul would. I don't even think this fight will happen with Anthony Joshua, but if it does, fair play. But just in general, when I keep seeing people talking about, debating if the fights are fake, and I don't think there's a lot to debate. I think I need to understand what a work is, how it works, and don't look at modern wrestling as an example. Go back to its roots. And it was based a lot in real holds, real moves, real pain, because the matches started off being some scripted, some real, which is why the moves were very much different back then, because they were more realistic, because they actually hurt people. So it was more shoot fighting, and it's the same. It's the same with this. They rig certain things, and if you've seen what's been rigged in UFC recently, it wasn't a top card fight. It was a fight way in the undercard, because it's about betting usually. So if you want to know if Jake Paul's fights are fake, consider what I said to you today, that someone either has to take a punch knowingly, or know they're going down, but the person throwing the punch won't know that. Take a look again, you'll realise that they've delivered a hard punch, but the other person, like Tito Ortiz, don't think I've ever seen him knocked out flat in his career. Not once. One punch from Jake Paul and he's on his face. And the same thing with the magic hand, magic small, I think it was right or left cross that he got from Anderson Silva at nearly 50, which knocked him out, which looked suspect as hell. Anderson Silva was a great fighter, but he didn't have that kind of power in such a short and round shot. Especially not with boxing gloves on. That's not the way he's fought his whole life. There's Tyron Woodley, really was at the end of his career and past his prime, but his chin was not suspect. If you look at that, he took that shot, and I don't think he expected to be knocked out. And I'm not even sure if he was. I don't know, or if he just took a face plant, because these fighters take a lot worse in the cage than planting themselves on their face. So it's not unrealistic to believe someone would do that to themselves when you consider these people were fought in. They entered the ring with worse kinds of injuries. So. And I'm just trying to think of whoever else. Ben Askren wasn't even capable of boxing, really. He's a wrestler. But even that, if you look at that, it just seemed, I don't know, too contrived. But I'm making this too long a video. It doesn't need to be. just understand that the way fight fixing works, it's very rare that both sides know, for multiple reasons. Keeping it a secret, sharing money, making it look good. Why would you tell both parties and make it look more choreographed when you can just tell one guy, don't throw anything too hard, and on so-and-so round, if let him connect with a good shot and go down. And yeah, and there's so many times that I've watched fights in UFC or boxing and I thought, Jesus, that was unexpected, or that was out of nowhere, and it's like, yeah, or was it? And you never truly know. Boxing's always been a corrupt sport. Wrestling, when it was considered real, was always corrupt. UFC, I'd say, started off as a more honest sport. Where it's going now, I'm not sure. But yeah, with people like Jake Paul questioning whether his fights are fixed or not, I think he's had a couple of real fights. I do. I think Tommy Fury was one of them. But if you look at certain fights, don't get me wrong, MMA guys aren't good boxers, so it's no surprise if he did knock out one or two of them. But some of the fights are so, it's not just that they're bad, just watch them. And I think you will see that there's one guy who's got a clear instruction to get hurt, at least when Jake Paul hits him. So, and maybe maybe even, and this is something that nobody's considered, maybe Jake Paul's being lied to by someone. Unlikely, but it's possible.
I don't know why, but something is wrong.
Rule Britannia!
The TV is crazy and the truth has gone. I might be crazy, but I think we're done. There are people out there who are adverse to fun.
Communism is king.
It's on your news. Even your neighbor has been here. You can see it on YouTube. It's time to shine a light on all the things they don't want you. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next.
Commander Worf, don't be a cunt.
The Honesty Channel.
I'm having such a good time.
Kill everyone on the bridge.
Having a ball.
Fuck you, Mr. Rascal.
My name is Owen Jones, a renowned drama queen, pseudo-intellectual and champagne socialist.
That's for B4.
What can I do? People know the truth.
Shut the fuck up.
What's true? That's why we gotta shine a light. Oh, shine a light, shine a light. We gotta shine a light. Oh, yeah. Together forever. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. The Honesty Channel. Zero news to now. Tom Generation Next. We're gonna shine a light with you. Generation Next.